Okay, YouTube, so today I want to talk about my best in beauty picks for 2017. I know that this is not at all a creative concept. I realize there are thousands of these videos out there, but I gotta tell you, I love these videos. I love them. I feel that this is such an opportunity for people to sit down and think about the hundreds and hundreds of beauty products that we've tried in the past year and pick from hundreds. It was really difficult to pick. I wanted to do this in terms of categories and just pick one out of every category, but it reminded me of, you know, when you go to the optometrist and they always have this very ASMR voice when they talk to you right up until they get frustrated with you and they tell you, choose which is clearer. Is it 1 or 2? 1, 2. 1 or 2. And you're sitting there going, I cannot make this choice. I do not want to get this wrong. I do not want an A on my driver's license, but they're both so blurry. That's just been me for this video. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Some of these are going to have multiple picks. And also, if you somehow are stumbling upon this video, no, this is not my typical makeup. I do not typically look quite this editorial, but I was having a rough morning, and I figured that rather than take out my emotions on an individual, I would take them out in the form of healthy self-expression. So yeah, this is my emotions for today. So I figure we'll start with primer, and I'm going to pick a super surprising choice of the Everything Primer from Honest Beauty. You know, this is actually a really good brand that apparently has a bit of sketchiness attached to it. I don't know the whole story, but I can tell you I tested these products out in, I think it was January or February of this year. I have continuously used and loved this primer for the entire year, so it must have been really good. I think a lot of what I enjoyed about this is that it does have hyaluronic acid in it. It's kind of a little bit, it says it's a luminous base. It kind of reminds me of the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, except it has that hyaluronic acid, which really works well as a dry skin person in a very humid climate. It was really a great primer. It's the only one that I've almost used up in an entire year, and I have a lot of primers. I've continued to use my Smashbox Photo Finish primer, but I think I like this one more. For eyeshadow primer, I've almost finished off I think this is my third tube of the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, so I use this all the time, but I don't think I'm going to buy it again. I don't think I'm going to buy it again because the Ulta Matte Eye Primer is so good and so much cheaper that why would I buy anything else? I use this today. I've just been using this continuously because it's so good. For foundation, I have two picks because I just can't really decide between them. The Kogendo Aqua Foundation and the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Foundation. Now, I think I like the Kogendo more. My con with it is that it's so expensive that I really only reserve it for special occasions, but it is so pretty on the skin. Now, I have to say, this is the shade 213, and one thing I've noticed about this particular foundation is they're not very consistent with the foundations within the Aqua line. It's really bizarre. This one is a much runnier consistency than some of the others. It's also lighter, which is not what you would expect as you go up in the numbers. 213 is lighter than the 100s. So it's very confusing. It's definitely the kind of foundation where you want to get a sample of it before you buy it. But I do love it. This one has a very slight olive tint to it, which works really well on me because so does my skin. I wouldn't say I'm olive toned, but I do have a little tiny bit of olive undertone. If that description makes any sense, you should probably try this. Also, if you're light skinned. And see, I think that's what it is. For me, to be a true olive, in my head, you have to be in a medium skin tone range. I don't think that's true, but that's how my brain thinks. So anyway, as a light skinned person, it's not like they make green toned foundations, aside from this one. So I really do enjoy this, but that price tag is such a con that I gotta say, the Tarte Rainforest of the Seawater Foundation is a great alternative that is only $39. This is the shade Light Sand, and it is ever so slightly too dark for me right now, but I can still pull it off, and I think it'll be really perfect in the summer. And in fact, I don't even know why I just said that, because I've been wearing it continuously, except for today. Today I'm wearing this UA High Coverage foundation. I don't love full coverage foundations, but you know, sometimes you need them. Today was one of those days for me. But I would recommend both of those, and I can't pick because the price difference is too massive. But concealer is surprisingly really easy for me to pick. I don't know why. This is not something I expected, but I can easily tell you my favorite concealer of the year, and it is not the That just happened. That just happened. Okay. It is not the Shart tape. It's such a keeper. Oh my god. I told you guys, it's been an off day for me. Anyway, the BareMinerals Correcting Concealer in Light 2. Let me show you how much I love this. Do you see that? I panned it completely. I adore it. It even has this little mirror in it. It's so good. And a big part of it, though, is just how well this matches my skin. So if you are at all relating to what I'm telling you my skin tone is, hopefully this is helpful. I know that I do follow other YouTubers who have a similar skin tone to me in hopes of getting especially color advice. So I always, whenever I'm talking about foundation and concealer, I do put in the description box my other foundation shades, hopefully to help you guys with some comparison. I'm picking as my favorite powder the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I really do enjoy this. I think it's the best setting powder that I've used so far. I absolutely prefer it as opposed to the Laura Mercier. I really get frustrated with setting powders for sinking into my lines, because I'm a dry skin person. I have more lines than I would like. This is the best setting powder I've found so far for preventing that. The other good one is the By Terry Hyaluronic Powder, but I'm not putting that in here because it's too expensive for the way that you go through powders. Alright, let's talk about face products next. I am actually putting in this video the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. I had no plans of putting this in. I didn't love it when I first tried it out, but I put one single drop of argan oil into each one of these pans and it made it into the perfect cream contouring palette. Now, cream contour is not that popular. I think that I see some misconceptions with cream contour where people think it's too bold. It should be less bold if you properly blend it out. It should actually be really subtle on. And for me, this is the Fair Kit. I use the darkest shade in here because I probably should have bought the light kit, but this is all that was available, and it's working really well for me, though. I use that on my cheekbones, and I use the Fawn shade. Fawn? Yeah, so I use Mink on my cheeks and then Fawn on my nose, so I don't overdo the nose contour. I was able to get this for $16, and I've heard a lot of people saying it's at TJ Maxx. I highly recommend it. I guess we'll talk about a couple of bronzing powders real fast. It's just another year of loving the Hoola. I'm currently wearing the Hoola Light. I've realized that I really do need to switch it to a lighter color in the winter, but I love Hoola the rest of the year in a sunny climate. Both of these blend so nicely, and I think that's so important with the bronzer. Bronzer is so easy to go overboard with. If you're having that problem, first off, try a lighter bronzer. Also, try these. They're great. The brushes that are included in them are very nice, and natural hair brushes, which pick up the most powder. Love both of those. And also, while we're talking about benefit, Galifornia has been my favorite blush of the year. I am wearing this one today. I love it. The only con that I've noticed with it is that it had such a good scent when I first got it, and it's really faded. I missed that divine scent, but I'm not going to stop using it because I love the color. My highlighting pick of the year goes to the Cover FX Perfect Highlighting Palette, which very quickly after it came out went down to $25. I paid $39 for this, and I still don't regret it. It's incredible. These are some of the nicest powders I've ever seen applied on dry skin. I don't want to make this into my worst because that's going to be another video, but hated the Anastasia Beverly Hills Ultimate Glow Kit. If you don't like that type of a look, this is the exact opposite. Exact opposite. These apply so beautifully, and you get such a nice shade range in here. I would say the only shade they're missing is, I wish they put Moonlight in here, but you can get it separately for $10, so I guess that was the logic there, but I love this. And then the last face product I have to talk about is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting in Diffused Light. I didn't think I was gonna ever love an Hourglass product. I actually put them in some of my least favorite beauty brands, but I love this. I love this. It's so expensive, but a little goes such a long way, and it's amazing with that little tiny touch of yellow, this very pale yellow, what it does for your under-eye area. It's such a nice addition. It is a finishing powder, it's not a setting powder, so you don't use very much of it, and I feel like this is going to last me for the rest of my life with the amount that I use. So I definitely think it was worth it. I definitely would say this is my favorite finishing powder I've tried the whole year. I've got two brow picks, and they're both from Benefit. Highbrow is something I use every single time I'm getting ready, every time I do my makeup. It is just the perfect color for under the brow. It is so easy to work with. It's a cream to powder so effectively, so I can blend it out and it doesn't mess up my eyeshadow or anything. It's so good. I will say that I don't think this would work on darker skin tones, and I kind of feel like Benefit's terrible at thinking about that, but I would probably recommend this for medium to fair skin tones. But it's so lovely, it's so easy to use, and it's another one of those products that will last you absolutely forever. And then I also have Benefit's Kabrow. I do have the brush off of this right now because it is dirty, but this is such a great brow pomade. It's just so easy to use. I want to mention real briefly a couple of sprays. I'm not making this a skincare video because we're going to have a big skincare 1-year celebration very soon, in which I'll do a rundown of a year of skincare trials. But I do want to mention some mists. You all probably already know I love the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. This is so nice for minimizing your pores. You get your makeup done, you feel like your face looks perfect, but then you see your pores. If you spray this on over it, it actually minimizes them. And now it does contain some alcohol, so it's probably not the absolute best thing for your skin, but I've never really had a con in using alcohol, so I don't have a problem with it. But I also want to mention the e.l.f. Active Post-Workout Cool Down Mist. I got this for $8 and did not expect to love it as much as I do. I love this. This is a hyaluronic acid enriched spray. And if you do live in a dry climate, hyaluronic acid is probably not your friend because it's a molecule that attracts moisture to it. So if you're in a dry climate and you put hyaluronic acid on your skin, it's going to suck the moisture out of your skin and dry you out more. I think that this, my hypothesis is that something like this, where it's in a mist and you're spraying it directly on and it is already in liquid, I think that you would have better results with a product like this, although it's still kind of tricky, and it's something I keep forgetting to mention how important it is to discuss the climate that you're in when we're talking about hyaluronic acid. But as somebody in a humid climate, this is so wonderful. It is fixed makeup disaster so many times. If I ever start to look cakey or dried out, I have sprayed this $8 spray on it and it just fixes everything. Mascara is so easy. This is such an easy pick because the Essence Lash Princess is a $5 mascara that is incredible. One of my biggest discoveries in 2017 was how good drugstore products have become, and I think mascara takes the cake for it. The fact that, you know, you can so easily go into Sephora and be spending $30 a month on a mascara, or you can spend $5 on a mascara. There's just no contest there, and this is such a great mascara. I just don't have any problems with it. This is the False Lash Effect mascara. It's obviously not quite the same intensity as false lashes, but it's pretty darn good. My favorite brushes for the year were the Real Techniques Blend and Blur series. I reviewed all 4 of these. These retail for $19.99 each, which is really high considering this is a drugstore brand, but I don't think you need all 4 of them. I would say you can get probably 1 or 2 and be very happy with your purchase. I use the blush and the contour brushes interchangeably because they really both target that whole area. In fact, I would say that the blush brush, the little tiny blush brush, which I think is the cheapest, I want to say that one's around $12. That's all you need to get in order to discover if these are for you and if you love them to the level that I do. And then of course I'm going to mention the Beauty Blender, but I'm going to say not the nude one. I had the most problems with that, and not the black one, the professional version. Any of the colored ones have worked well for me. I think the original pink I thought that was the best. I got the summer version and I like it just as much, but the nude ones rip on me really quickly. They don't seem to work as well. It seems like these need that dye in them to do something. I don't know what. I wonder if it's similar to my hair. My hair is thicker when I put a color on top of it. If I just leave it bleached blonde, it's very thin, stringy. There's some... Who would have thought that there would be some amount of magic to throwing a dye on these? But anyway, I don't recommend the nude ones. I do recommend the originals and the colored ones that I'm holding. That Spring Fling set is on sale on the Sephora site right now with an extra 20 off 20, whatever the code is. I recommend it. I almost forgot my eyeliner pick. My eyeliner pick is the same as it's been for years, and that is the Bobbi Brown Longwear Gel Eyeliner. These are so good, and it seems like gel eyeliners have fallen out of popularity, but I still think they're the best. I think they're far better than any liquid liner in a pen that I've ever found. They just give you the most control, and this to me has been the best formula that I've ever tried. Let's go ahead and discuss lipsticks. I couldn't pick my favorite here. I really love Besame's formula, and I love Lipstick Queen's formula. I'm not going to even try to pick shades when it comes to lipstick. We're just going to talk about the whole grouping of them. Both of these are very creamy, comfortable, contain ingredients that are good for your lips, and give you a ton of color. And I didn't pick Bite Beauty because Bite Beauty always runs on me. It always spreads, and I think it's too creamy for my liking. If you do like Bite Beauty, you'll probably still like both of these. This one a little more. This is creamier than Lipstick Queen. But if you think that is just a tad bit too much, then you will probably fall into the same zone as myself and prefer these. For liquid lipsticks, I only have one pick, and that is the Stila liquid lipsticks. These have just been the most comfortable. They're not drying to the same level of a lot of other liquid lipsticks. These are really good. I will say I don't think they last quite as long, but for me that's a trade-off that I will take because a very drying lipstick is very uncomfortable. So this is a good compromise. I'm going to add into here the Lime Crime Diamond Crushers, which I think this is the only genuine lip topper that I'm aware of, because to me, a lip topper needs to be different from a lip gloss. If we're going to go and make up this whole new category of something called lip toppers, I do not know why we're throwing glosses in there and renaming them. And no offense to Pure, because I really do like them, but I bought their My Little Pony lip gloss. Excuse me, they call these lip toppers. They're glosses. This is a gloss. This is a gloss. This is actually a topper. It dries down, but it kind of looks like a lip gloss. This is some magical formula, and I know Lime Crime is controversial. I have a lot of very complicated thoughts on that, but objectively speaking, this is my favorite lip topper because it's the only lip topper that I've tried, and it's gorgeous. I am wearing this. I wear this constantly. This is the shade Cheap Thrill. I just adore this. For lip glosses, I have the hardest time deciding here. If you want a pigmented lip gloss, Anastasia Beverly Hills by far. If, however, you want a hydrating treatment of a lip gloss, Kaplan MD by far. And if you kind of want to compromise an in-between, then the Buxom Full-On Lip Cream. I'm going to honestly say that I have already used up 2 of these Kaplan MD, 2 entire tubes of the Kaplan MD lip glosses, so obviously I love them. It's how often do you finish a lip gloss? You know what I'm saying? I've finished 2 of these. I adore them, but you know, not everybody has the same preferences, so these are also really good options. Eyeshadow. We gotta talk about it. So I'm gonna talk about the loose eyeshadows before I get into palettes, because I'm gonna try to keep myself from not repeating my 2017 palettes video where I talked about 13 palettes. So my top picks, I gotta go with the Stila Magnificent Metals. These are amazing. These are so easy to work with. They give you so much color payoff. You don't need a primer. You just slap them on and go. They're really, really excellent quality, but what bothers me about these is how tempting it is to buy all of them. I've said this in other videos. I don't think you need to spend, at this point there's so many of these out that you could spend $400 on the whole collection. I don't think you need to. So for me, I bought 3 of them, and I'm cutting myself off there because I have 3 gorgeous, gorgeous eyeshadows, and I just don't need more. I've also got to give it to BareMinerals for these loose eyeshadows that I had no idea I was missing in my life. They are incredible. The pigmentation that you get from these, because they're loose shadows, it's so bold. They're pigments. They're loose pigments. I believe these run for $10 each, but they do run all kinds of specials at BareMinerals. I got these during a like $1 promotion. I don't think I've ever spent $1 on something that's been better than this. My best dollar purchases in my life. For eyeshadow palettes, I'm going to pick as my palette of the year, my favorite that I've used for the entirety of 2017, the Viseart Editorial palette. Now, this did not come out this past year, and this is something that not everybody needs, but the reason it's my favorite is because I do like bold eyeshadow, but I've had a lot of trouble finding corresponding mattes to match them up with. This palette has given me absolutely everything I need. It is incredible for those of you who do enjoy bold eyeshadow looks. These mattes just blend out like no other matte I've used. These are $80 palettes, so I'm trying to not buy every single one of them, but yes, they are the best mattes I've ever used. And then for my 2 palettes of the year, I already talked about these, so I'm not going to talk about them too much more, but the Urban Decay Heavy Metals and the NYX Air palette are both incredibly, incredibly unique and incredibly high quality, and I love to put a drugstore palette in this video, and this one is just, it's just so good. It's $15 right now. I can't even believe that. And then I'm gonna throw a perfume in. I'm gonna say Estee Lauder's Bronze Goddess because of how much I love you. Oh, I love you so much. We've discovered in other videos that I've attempted to film about perfume that me speaking about the qualities of a perfume just doesn't go that well. I will say, in an effort to describe it, it smells like the beach and pickles. I realize that the line and pickles probably makes it sound unappealing, but somehow it comes together and smells like heaven. Or at least what my version of heaven would be, which is a beach. Alright guys, that is my beauty favorites of 2017. Let me know in the comments what you agree with, and if you make YouTube videos, keep on posting these videos. I'm loving watching them. Make sure that you are subscribed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, YouTube.